Bonjour, bonjour. I'm Kashi and this is Let Us Learn French. Today, we talk about animal groups and animal classes in French. Les groupes d'animaux et les classes d'animaux. We'll talk about the vocabulary for the different classes of animals, as well as the characteristics or features that each class of animal has. So you'll learn how to say those characteristics and features in French. If you're excited, give this video a big thumbs up and let's go. First, animals are divided into two groups, vertebrates and invertebrates. So vertebrates in French is vertébrés, des vertébrés. And invertebrates in French is invertébrés, des invertébrés. Vertebrates have a spine or backbone. Les vertébrés ont une colonne vertébrale, while invertebrates do not have a spine or backbone. Les invertébrés n'ont pas de colonne vertébrale. Examples of vertebrates would be human beings, and a dog, and a cat, and most of the animals you could name. Des êtres humains, des chiens, des chats. An example of an invertebrate is a butterfly, un papillon. Les papillons n'ont pas de colonne vertébrale, alors ce sont des invertébrés. Butterflies do not have a spine or backbone, so they are invertebrates. Now, we can further divide the vertebrates into classes of animals. Les classes d'animaux. So, we have 5 classes of animals. On a 5 classes d'animaux. And those are mammals, reptiles, birds, fish, and amphibians. Let's start with mammals. Mammals in French is mammifères, des mammifères. An example of a mammal is human beings, des êtres humains. Les êtres humains sont des mammifères. Les chiens et les chats sont aussi des mammifères. Dogs and cats are also mammals. Now let's look at some characteristics or features associated with mammals. Number 1, les mammifères ont le sang chaud. Mammals are warm-blooded. The literal translation of les mammifères ont le sang chaud is mammals have warm or hot blood. But what it means is mammals are warm-blooded. By the way, if you don't know what warm-blooded is, it means that we can regulate our body temperature and keep it at a reasonable level, even if the temperature drops to low levels outside. For example, I live in Canada, and even though it's minus 40 outside, not right now, my body temperature is not going to be minus 40. That's basically what it means. Enough of science and back to French. Numéro 2. Les mammifères donnent naissance. Ils ne pondent pas d'œufs. Mammals give birth. They don't lay eggs. The French term that we use for that is les mammifères sont des vivipares, which means that they are born from their mother's womb. I'll be very honest with you, I've only very recently learned that word, vivipar. Never used that in my life, and you probably won't need to use it either, but it's a fun fact to know. You probably don't even know the English version, and I just Googled it, and it's viviparous. Viviparous. So yeah, you absolutely do not need to know the term vivipar. You just need to know les mammifères ne pondent pas d'œufs, mammals don't lay eggs, and les mammifères donnent naissance. Mammals give birth. But if you want to be fancy, vivipar. Viviparous. But there are 2 exceptions, l'ornithorynque et l'échidné. An echidna is an echidna, and an ornithorynque is a platypus. Perry the platypus. I watched Phineas and Ferb in French, so it was Perry l'ornithorynque. And if you did not watch Phineas and Ferb, just ignore the last couple of seconds. Numéro 3. Les mammifères ont de la fourrure ou des poils. Mammals have fur or hair. Fur is fourrure and hair is poil. I mean, hair is cheveux, but like hair, I guess, or hair an animal is poil. I guess you could say hairs. Do we say that? Numéro 4. Les mammifères respirent par les poumons. Mammals breathe through lungs. Les poumons are lungs. And lastly, number 5, numéro 5, les mammifères allaitent leurs petits. Mammals give milk to their children or to their young. Now that we're experts on mammals, les mammifères, let's look at reptiles, des reptiles. This one's pretty easy. You just write it the same way and you pronounce it the French way. Des reptiles. Some examples are crocodiles, des crocodiles, snakes, des serpents, tortoises, des tortues. What do tortoises do? I guess they just walk very slowly and live for a really long time. Some characteristics or features. Numéro 1, les reptiles ont le sang froid. Reptiles are cold-blooded. Numéro 2, les reptiles ont des écailles. Reptiles have scales, have dried, scaly skin, des écailles. Numéro 3, les reptiles pondent des œufs. Reptiles lay eggs, at least I think most do. So animals who are born from eggs are known in French as des ovipares. Ovipar. In English, oviparous. Again, I didn't know this word either, whether in English or in French, and you probably will never use that one. Numéro 4, les reptiles respirent par des poumons. Reptiles breathe through lungs. And they cannot breathe underwater. Ils ne peuvent pas respirer sous l'eau. And also, some have a shell, like a tortoise. And a tortoise's shell in French is called une carapace. Une carapace. La tortue a une carapace. The third class of animals is fish. Les poissons. Animals are aquatic fish. Animals are aquatic fish. Fish are aquatic animals. Les poissons sont des animaux aquatiques. Et ils respirent sous l'eau. And they breathe underwater. Fish have gills. Les poissons ont des branchies. Gills are branchies. They also have scales and fins. Ils ont aussi des écailles et des nageoires. We've looked at écailles before. It means scales. Now, nageoire means fins. Les poissons ont le sang froid. They are cold-blooded. And finally, they lay eggs. Ils pondent des œufs. Our fourth class of animals is amphibians, des amphibiens. Examples are frogs, des grenouilles, and toads, des crapauds. Des grenouilles, des crapauds. Les amphibiens ont aussi le sang froid. Amphibians are also cold-blooded, and they can live on land and in water. Et ils peuvent vivre sur terre et dans l'eau. Les amphibiens pondent des œufs. Amphibians lay eggs. Les petits naissent dans l'eau et respirent par des branchies. The young are born in the water and they breathe through gills. But when they grow up, they can live on land and in water. En grandissant, ils peuvent vivre sur terre et dans l'eau. And they breathe through lungs and their skin. Et ils respirent par des poumons et par la peau. The skin is la peau. So amphibians change quite a lot as they grow. When they were little, they have a tail, une queue, and they live in water and they breathe through gills. And they grow up and they grow 4 legs, 4 pattes, and they can live on land. Ils peuvent vivre sur terre et respirer avec des poumons ou par la peau and breathe through lungs and skin. That's a big change. And this change in English is called metamorphosis. And metamorphosis in French is called une métamorphose. A metamorphosis, une métamorphose. Une métamorphose is not really a beginner word to learn in French, but it's good to know. Our fifth and last class of animals is birds. Des oiseaux. Les oiseaux ont des plumes et des ailes. Birds have feathers and wings. Des plumes, feathers, des ailes, wings. La plupart des oiseaux peuvent voler. Most birds can fly, but of course, some birds can't, like ostriches, des autruches. Ils ont 2 pattes et respirent par les poumons. They have 2 legs and breathe through lungs. Comme les mammifères, les oiseaux ont le sang chaud. Like mammals, birds are warm-blooded. But unlike mammals, birds lay eggs. Mais contrairement aux mammifères, les oiseaux pondent des œufs. Quel est ton animal préféré? What is your favorite animal? Comment down below what your favorite animal is or favorite animals are. Ton animal préféré ou tes animaux préférés. By the way, you might notice that we say un animal, but des animaux. You might wonder why we don't say des animaux with an S, but rather des animaux. Well, you're lucky because next week's video is exactly about that, the plural in French. When we add an S, when we add an X, and more. So make sure you hit subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified when this video comes out. But while you're waiting for this video to come out, here's 2 other videos that you can watch. Have fun! Also, if you found value out of this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with your family and friends who also want to learn French, or about animals, or animals in French. Thank you so much for staying until the end. I'll see you next Sunday. Take care.